Basketball Jones. No, we're not going to do that. I would love to, but we're not going to do that. We're going to start today with some coaching news or something like that with the Bucks and the LA Clippers. Let's start with the Bucks here because the Bucks are narrowing down their group of top candidates, which include Nick Nurse, Golden State assistant Kenny Atkinson, Toronto assistant Adrian Griffin. A name you do not hear on that as a finalist is Milwaukee Bucks assistant Charles Lee, who is also a finalist for the Detroit job.
By Kevin Ollie. Is he on there?
Kevin Ollie's not on there.
Is he
was
on
not
anybody's
interviewed.
list other than Detroit?
No, that's it. Troy Rivers, dude. Your thoughts on those finalists there? What should Milwaukee do? I mean,
it kind of sounds like Nurse. In my opinion, the other guys just seem like plan B and C, but if you have a team that I think is a championship caliber like team, do you really want a young coach coming in here with this being the first time, or you go with Nurse who's been there before?
Nurse has done it. I think that makes a lot of sense. The other name, Kenny Atkinson, former head coach with the Nets, is with the Warriors. I was surprised the Pistons didn't even entertain that. In fact, I looked at that list and I'm going, hey, the Pistons could use some new names. Let's compare notes.
here's three names. I will
Apparently
say
Gores flew everybody out to L.A. and was just like,
Nick Nurse is a finalist with Milwaukee. He's also a finalist with the Suns.
did he get a Pistons interview?
He did not get a
Okay.
Pistons interview. So someone's going to have to move quickly with Nick Nurse.
Kevin Allen.
Either the Bucks or the Suns.
Yeah.
Who gets him?
I'm probably thinking it's going to be the Bucks because the way Ishbia is running that team, he's trying to go Jerry Jones like I'm throwing money to anybody who wants my money, and he'd have had this locked up by now.
You know what I like about Ishbia? He's doing what we all would do if we could own an NBA team.
He is.
We'd be sitting courtside taking charges. We'd trade for Kevin Durant in our first year, and then
Right.
we'd say, I'm the GM.
Right.
I'm firing coaches.
This
It
is
doesn't
his-
mean it's good, but man, am I jealous. That's awesome.
He gets to run a real life fantasy basketball team.
Basically.
I'm a fire. Like we all, oh man, I got to fire my GM, which is normally you. He can really do that. So I think that if it was the Suns, David, to answer your question, it would have been done by now. I think it is probably going to end up being Milwaukee. I don't know where the Suns are going to go.
What's the
with
better
this.
job? Let's say the money's equal, and who knows if it is, but what's the better job?
I get to work with Giannis, Milwaukee. I mean, living wise, Scottsdale versus Milwaukee. Yeah, that's not a comparison. But team wise, you got Giannis, you got Booker, but it also comes with KD, who's KD, and in about a year he's gonna hate being there, and you got to deal with that and move him along.
Yeah, Giannis is the best player of either team. I would rather be in Milwaukee.
Well, living-wise, what's better, L.A. or Scottsdale? Because, speaking of the job for the Suns, Tyrone Lue's name has been thrown out there. He is currently still the Clippers head coach, but the rumors are the Suns want him. Lue only has 1 year left on his deal, and of course, that gives him all the leverage.
I mean, I just hate LA traffic. It's like Chicago and New York. You ever try driving through that?
Oh, it's worse in L.A.
What?
The traffic in LA is worse than New York or Chicago, especially. LA is a joke. If you get on the highway,
Scottsdale's beautiful. I just, especially if you got money, you live in the mountains.
So should they go get Tyrone Lue to be the coach?
Is that the best you could do? See, I guess no, but then again, you had the perfect coach, and you fired him. So I don't know what's Kevin Ollie doing.
Interviewing for the Pistons job. Let's touch on Houston for a second. Houston has options at number 4. They want to trade it, of course. And there's options at free agency. I'm going to give you some free agent names that I've seen from The Athletic, writing an article here. Kelly Iko, who writes for The Athletic, covers the Houston Rockets, reported that the Rockets are expected to be aggressive in free agency with Brook Lopez, Dylan Brooks, Cam Johnson, and Austin Reeves, along with pairing those up with James Harden.
Well, the funny thing is, after I did the research, not you, because you weren't here, but they all laughed at me when I brought up the name Dylan Brooks.
I sure did laugh at you. Now his name is everywhere.
Right. Because he had a bad series, okay? It happens. But other than that, defensively, he's what the Pistons need for toughness. But you didn't ask me about the Pistons.
But here's the thing, though. Dylan Brooks makes sense for Houston if they get James Harden because it pairs them up. Detroit, who are you pairing them up with?
You're not. You have a team full of not so tough players.
A bust, and then a young second-year player that'll be Jaden Ivey.
Oh.
The bust is Cade.
Cade is not a bust.
Are you doing
Okay,
this
all
already?
All right, not a bust. All right.
From a man who made the prayer happen.
No. From the same man who had the funeral for Jared Goff and the Lions last year.
He's not a bust. I'm just joking.
He had a funeral.
People.
We're like, David, don't do this.
Just joking.
No, but he would add toughness to the team if he came to the Pistons that they don't have. They're no. But for Houston, the problem is James Harden. He'll be there and he'll tear that team apart in another year, and they'll be back in the lottery.
So let's touch on the L.A. Lakers. They lost last night. Sweet 4-0. Denver Nuggets, they are going to the finals for the first time. But the Lakers have a ton of decisions to make. Decision on Austin Reeves. Decision on Rui Hachimura. They also have a decision here, maybe not, because there's an article that was written this morning saying the Lakers brass have had internal discussions about what a hypothetical trade offer for Trae Young could possibly entail. Trae Young to L.A.?
Listen, something's got to happen because if LeBron, 20 years in, is dropping 40 points, looking around for help, if he's bringing it, nobody else is.
What was he doing last night?
I mean, everybody says, well, why does LeBron seem to need so much help? Are we watching the same game? The guy still has it. They should be still playing. It's not his fault. They do need more bodies, and they do need help because, Anthony Davis isn't getting it done.
He was on the floor half the time, shooting free throws and just falling apart. It's going to cost you more than what they have. Anthony Davis will have to be a part of that trade. If I'm Atlanta, that's the first piece of the puzzle.
You think he would have to be a part of that trade?
I don't think necessarily.
David, what else? What other tradable pieces do LA have?
I mean, you make
D'Angelo
a point.
Russell? No. You throw him in.
He's a free agent.
But Rico,
as well.
are you new here? They always find a way to shoehorn in another star on one of these teams. Future firsts until 2055.
Three-team trade.
Yeah, you throw in another team's assets.
But here's the thing. He's the face of the Hawks. So if I'm giving you that, you got to give me something to sell my fans.
But I will tell you this, though, and while you're right, he is the face of Atlanta, the front office has been given, let's say, quote-unquote, permission to do whatever to fix the roster.
Or
that includes trading Trae Young. So maybe they decided to just whatever.
Or maybe, guys, I know, blasphemy, right? Maybe LA and the management is thinking long-term and saying, guys, LeBron's going to be gone. Maybe we ship him to Atlanta and we bring in Trae Young.
No way.
And we can keep this thing. David, LeBron's getting close to 40? He's already said, I'm only sticking around until my son gets here. Last night, he couldn't even commit to coming back next season. So if you're LA, we talk about it with Eduardo Rodriguez. You got to sell the stock while it's still worth something.
So just tank for LeBron's son then.
He's not that good. He's like the other Howard.
Oh, he's two T's? He's not.
No, not a Jet's good.
You talking about? Well, I'll just leave that alone. That is your NBA Fast Break.